Currently, the commercialization of canned food is becoming more and more popular in market and even around the world. Canned food is food stored in tins and preserved, in which the food content is processed and then stored tightly in an airtight container to make the food in it last longer. The process of producing canned food requires a preservation process and involves heating the food at high temperatures to kill bacteria and other microorganisms before it is tightly sealed in the can to prevent contamination from the outside. Canned food also has a high content of preservatives that allows it to be stored for a long time without having to be exposed to cold temperatures. Canned food is also often a practical and easy choice to prepare in an emergency or when it is not possible to cook fresh food. In relation to this, I have researched that canned food is often the choice among the community, even though this canned food is actually not good for health. This is due to several factors, namely the comfort factors. Although canned food contains various preservatives and high salt content, it is still a choice because of the ease of preparation, because it is easy to open and ready to eat without having to spend a lot of time cooking in the kitchens. Next, durability factor and current use. Canned food has a long shelf life that allows an individual to store it for a long period of time for future use, such as emergency supplies or for outdoor activities such as hiking or camping. Next is offering a variety of food options that can meet the needs and tastes of various individuals. Canned food provides a wide variety of food, and this allows people to choose according to their needs and wants. In terms of nutrition, canned food may not be as good as fresh food, but it's still the choice of the community when the need for practicality and comfort is a priority. It is these factors that cause canned food to be the choice of community at this time due to the over prioritization of comfort. Unknowingly, this canned food is very risky to the body, which is slowly disrupting our health due to frequent consumption of canned food. One of the risks of canned food is affecting health. As we already know, canned food is food that often contains preservatives and chemical additives to maintain the freshness and taste of the food. Unknowingly, we have taken a lot of chemicals that come from canned food. If the consumption of canned food is uncontrolled and continuous, then it can have negative effect on long-term health such as digestive health problems and cancer. The second risk is related to food safety. Unplanned or improperly stored canned food and exposure to inappropriate temperatures can create a breeding ground for bacteria and cause food poisoning if consumed. This is because unplanned storage causes canned food to be damaged and contaminated and not suitable for consumption. The next risk is related to food hygiene. These canned foods often use machines to produce them. This can cause the food not to be cleaned completely because it is impossible to maintain the clean lines of canned food due to the large quantity or number of cans. Not only that, the cleanliness of the place to process food is not always maintained well. For example, in the Cosmo article, 4 food processing factories were ordered to close for 14 days in a row because they were too dirty and there are red extreme found. So with that, here I want to persuade you to say no to canned food because there are various problems that we will get if we take canned food continuously. Now, you will definitely think and say to yourself, why do I need to say no to canned food? What is the problem? Why do we need to avoid eating canned food? Yes, of course. this question playing on your mind right now? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you must be wondering why we should say no to canned food, and let me explain. In general, canned food will go through three parts to produce it, namely processing, sealing, and then heating. The cans will mostly be lined with a type of chemical which is epoxy resin made with bisphenol A or BPA, which can transfer the chemical to the food in the can. So it is not surprising if canned food have a low nutritional content. This is because the processing process for canned food can reduce the nutritional content of food such as vitamin and minerals. Because the process of heating food will remove nutrients found in food such as vitamin B and C. Therefore, canned food is not suitable for eating regularly because it can affect the health of the individual who it is. This canned food also often contain a lot of salt and sugar in excessive quantities, and this can cause the risk of high blood pressure and diabetes to be high. Next, contains dangerous chemicals. According to the Gatar article, canned food contains additional elements that are used to preserve and extend the shelf life of canned food. The use of chemicals such as preservatives in canned food can be harmful to health, such as a kidney disease if taken regularly and continuously. Problems such as the risk of botulism are serious problems associated with canned food that is not stored well or properly. Clostridium botulinum bacteria can grow in an environment that does not have enough oxygen and will release toxins that can cause various diseases to appear in individuals who eat canned food excessively. Now that you know about why we should say no to canned food and the problems that will be faced as a result of consuming canned food, of course you will wonder to yourself, how can I reduce the consumption of canned food, or at all didn't take it? Yes, soon this question will be answered. There are several ways that can be done to reduce the consumption of canned food or not to consume it at all. One of the best ways to reduce your intake of canned food is to cook it yourself. By cooking our own food, we can control the ingredients used for cooking to ensure that the food we eat is fresh, quality, and nutritious. Next, buying fresh food such as fruits, vegetables, fresh meat, and seafood is better than canned food. This is because fresh food is not only healthy but tastier and has a higher nutritional value because the original taste of the food does not change compared to canned food. When we as consumers choose to buy canned food, it is better to read the food label carefully first. In the label, we can find out the content found in the food and choose food that contain natural ingredients and less preservatives or chemicals additives. If we have the need to store canned food, at least we should try to find other storage alternatives such as reusable food storage containers. Just this small thing is enough to help reduce to use canned food in our daily lives. So with that, imagine if we often take canned food uncontrollably, and what will happen? So what will happen if you consume canned food uncontrollably? First of all, consuming canned food will cause a nutritional imbalance. When a person only depends entirely on canned food, it can cause nutritional imbalance due to the lack of important nutrients in the body. As I have explained before, the processing of canned food involves heating the food to kill the microorganisms on the food so that the food can be stored for longer, and this at the same time has removed the natural nutrients in the food. This canned food tend to contain less nutrients than fresh food such as fiber, vitamins, and minerals. This can cause a person's body's resistance to become weak, and it's easy to get disease due to the lack of nutrients in the body that are needed to fight various types of disease. Second one has a negative impact on the environment. Society today is fond of canned food. Even every day, canned food gets a very high purchase among the community. This will be harmful to the environment if not recycled properly. Irresponsible disposal of cans can also pollute the environment and threaten the sustainability of nature. Not only that, but these food cans can also be dangerous to the safety of yourself and animals. This is said to be so because the cans that have been opened will have sharp parts and can injure humans and animals if stepped on. Even a rust can cause severe swelling of the wound. Overall, the practice of saying no to canned food is very important for personal health and the well-being of our lives. The content of canned food often we cannot predict what ingredients are put in it, such as chemicals that are very bad for our body's health. By avoiding canned food, we can simultaneously reduce the risk of disease such as obesity, heart disease, and other health problems. In addition, the selection of natural and quality food will also benefit our digestive system and can help improve our overall health. Therefore, as a wise society, healthy eating practices are important in life in order to be free from any disease and avoiding consuming canned food excessively for the good of our health.